which I get, that's not what their beliefs are. But I cannot help but feel that if that man were not here, she'd still be with us.
I agree.
And I don't want that situation to be ignored. Of course, the talk is about, toxic masculinity. We could probably have toxic masculinity. We could probably have a whole show on what that really means. I'm not completely sure.
What does that mean? Educate me. What?
It's a new phrase.
Oh, Lord. Okay, wait, I got to go put my snowflake jacket on. Hold on. Okay.
But, what it comes down to is, yes, it was a man who killed her. That is something we need to address.
Well, and CNN,
just in general.
I watch all the time because in the morning I can listen to them on the radio live, and they said he's an undocumented immigrant. And
that's
stomping
just
their
a
foot.
euphemism for illegal.
Well, but the funny thing was about this whole story too was I guess they don't know how long he's been here. They're like 4 to 7 years. Everything I read was 4 to 7 years. And he worked at a dairy farm that some prominent Republican owns, and supposedly they ran his Social Security card, so he had the name and the Soch, and so he was good to go to work. But do you blame also the farmers that are desperate for workers, and they're really, I think they're turning a blind eye to these documents that they're getting.
That's entirely possible because, cheaper labor, they're just, trying to save money and perhaps an economy that hasn't completely supported them as of late. So I don't know. It's, it's a very tricky thing, but I thought it was interesting that they made a big deal about it being a GOP supporter. Because I'm not so sure that matters in this case either,
Well, we're never allowed to say
illegally.
But if it had been a Democrat, we would have never been able to say that.
That's true. We are not allowed to say anything critical of anything.
Yes, kumbaya. But here's the bottom line. This college student is no longer with us. Her family no longer has a daughter or a sister. I can't even imagine, 'cause she was just going out for a run, and then of course it was somebody's camera. I guess they found the footage and they were able to catch this guy. But again, had he been here, had it been a legal issue, he wouldn't be here. She'd still be going to her fall classes in college.
Yeah. Yeah, and how old was she? Like 20 at most?
Right, around
20,
there.
21, just absolutely horrifying. And it's just, when you think about it, if someone's willing to come here illegally, they may be willing to break more laws than just that.
Right,
just
right. Well, I'm so sad for the family, and our hearts and prayers go out to them. But how can this not be like a commercial for the wall? Honestly,
I know. I mean, it's going to come up in the conversation. The lady out in San Francisco, Kate Steinle. Another case of
where the illegal shot her by accident somehow. Where did he get the gun? That one. Yeah, I'm not sure how that one ever held up in the media. Although they ignore another mess.
To a weapon.
And I am pro having immigrants in our nation, and
absolutely.
And we've talked about this before. My family's full of legal immigrants that came the legal way. So I just want everybody to come legally. Is that too much to ask?
I don't think
so. To protect our country, to protect our children, and immigrants bring a lot to the table. They do, and I just want them to come legally, and let's fill our country with educated legal immigrants.
Absolutely, I agree with you completely.
So, well, the funniest story that I saw, I mean, when you read a story sometimes and it makes you bust out laughing, then you know it's a good story. And it was, I guess in Maine, a truck was driving some lobsters down the highway and crashed. And the PETA has gone bonkers. How are these people okay that are running PETA? But they said that this quote was, "Countless sensitive crustaceans experienced an agonizing death when this truck rolled over and their bodies came crashing down onto the highway." So PETA wrote a letter to the Department of Transportation in Maine and requested, they wanted to make a 5-foot tombstone in honor of these lobsters. So I think these people have absolutely lost it at this point.
Well, I'm just wondering
lobsters,
how
okay, not
lobster
babies,
down on the highway is any worse than being boiled.
Oh my gosh, not puppies. I mean, these people. It gets better. PETA hopes to pay tribute to these individuals who didn't want to die with a memorial, urging people to help prevent future suffering by keeping lobsters and all other animals off their plates. Okay, these people have completely lost it. I mean, I don't know. How do I respect this organization?
I don't know what to say.
Well, do you remember, like, when I was in middle school, we were trying to save the harp seals, and I remember doing a report on harp seals. I made a harp seal out of dough, glued cotton balls on it, and then my Doberman Pinscher actually ate the project and had cotton balls stuck to his mouth.
Put a 5-foot gravestone.
So I actually got to go to school and say the dog ate my homework with his cotton balls glued to around his mouth. So that was back in the day. You know, we're saving harp seals and whales, and now lobsters are not even in the same category. That's my dinner, people. Yeah. So I mean, it's just okay, let me put my snowflake coat back on, because these people are crazy. So anyway,
PETA.
It was PETA.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So anyways, the Department of Transportation, they actually they wrote them an official letter, which waste of taxpayer money. I mean, that's the other thing. This is just so ridiculous. But the bottom line, they're like, we don't allow signs and memorials on this highway, so no, you can't have your 5-foot tombstone for lobsters.
You know what they could do? They could go put flowers at the site, and a little makeshift. You know how people do.
I know.
They make little makeshift memorials for where people have passed.
So
they could
my
go do
question is, what are these PETA people eating? I mean, what's left? They are not eating a cow. They can't wear a leather shoe. Pleather doesn't always smell good, people. So I'm just like, what are they eating? Nuts and berries? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's why they're all skinny. They're not having a good T-bone, which I actually had for dinner tonight. So,
well, we had ground beef, so
okay. Yes, we're killing cows, people, over here. So, yeah, don't dispatch the
evil
PETA.
meat eaters.
So anyways, on that hysterical note, it's been awesome chatting with you. I miss doing this, actually, because and there's been so many times where we were chatting during the course of all my treatment, and we're like, we got to get on the air. But I wasn't always 100% perky, so it's awesome to be back. And then we invite everybody you can find it on the Facebook page, Veronica Live, our podcast, Veronica Live, and then Tracy and I will be back. Tracy, do you have any closing thoughts you want to add?
No, but I think this is a great sign that you are well on the way to full recovery.
I think so. All right. Well, we invite everybody back, and we'll be back. Bye, Tracy.
Bye, Veronica.
Okay.